guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at one of the season of the Malignant rings that came back, and then it got like updated, and this is the new one. It's the Ring of the Sacrilegious, which has been updated for 1.5.0, and we're going to talk about what they did to change it, and how good it is now. So first off, it does have 10% resistance to all elements and 10% poison res. That is static. It doesn't change. And then on top of that, it also has a 5 to 6% lucky hit chance, which if you're trying to do a lucky hit chance build, you can definitely get some good effectiveness out of it. You want to go in or no? Like, what are you digging for if you don't want to go? You just messing with me? Is that what you're doing? You just messing with me? You just messing with me? We'll mess with your whiskers. How about staying? Sorry, I gotta fight it back. We also get movement speed on here of 12.5 to 18%. I guess Necromancers complained about movement speed enough, and they started putting movement speed on everything. We also get +2 to all corpse skills, so anything that is considered to be a corpse skill, and that means that it just has the corpse tag on it, for those of you who are unaware. So when you look at it, it says corpse, so it is a corpse skill. And I believe corpse tendrils also is a corpse skill, and on top of that, we also have... Oh, there's another corpse skill in here somewhere. I can't remember which one. There's not just 2, is there? So I thought it was corpse explosion, corpse tendrils, and doesn't no, even though Ray Skeleton does use corpses, I guess it doesn't quantify as a corpse skill. It doesn't get plus the skills anyway, though. So I guess that's what I was thinking of. But basically, it's going to give you +2 to any of your corpse-related skills. So obviously, you're going to get +2 to your corpse explosion and also to your corpse tendrils, which is very nice. On top of this, we also get a +2, 2 to 3 to Grim Harvest. And Grim Harvest is the one that gives you a multiplier, essence creation on consuming a corpse. So the more corpses that you are creating, or you're using, essentially, the more essence that you're going to be making. If you have 3 in this, you're going to get 2, 4, 6. And of course, if you have this on, you're going to get 3 more. So that's 2, 4, 6 again. So you're going to be at 12 essence per corpse consumed, which of course also does include raising skeletons. So when you're raising skeletons, you're going to get 12 essence, and when you are using corpse explosion, you're going to get 12 essence. Corpse tendrils, however, does not consume the corpse. So although technically corpse tendrils is a corpse skill, it doesn't actually function with the Grim Harvest skill to give you additional essence back, so that's interesting. The main meat and potatoes of this particular item, if I can get my mouse to stand still, is you automatically activate the following equipped skills on corpses around you. Raise skeleton, corpse explosion, and corpse tendrils. It goes between 2 to 1 second on raised skeleton, between 2 to 1 second on corpse explosion, and it also goes between 12 to 6 seconds now on corpse tendrils. It used to be 8, so there was a nice little bump up there for the corpse tendrils. And so basically, if you have this ring on, very simply put, and you have any of these abilities on the bar, which is also very important, so you have to actually have them on the bar, you're going to get access to those from the skills, essentially just automatically. No hands. Look, Ma, no hands. I can fight while I got a chinchilla in my hands, and I can tickle his belly button like this, and him can't do nothing about it because he can't fight back, and that's going to get his belly button. The little belly button. That's right, chinchillas have belly buttons. It's kind of cute. They're little tiny belly buttons right there. The little belly button. That's right, I see your belly button. You came out your mama. That's why you's got a belly button. He said so. He said, you don't got a belly button. I do. I got as big belly button and as big as your eye. So, like you're basically AFK. If you combine that together with the new pants, by the way, they have a new aspect. Let's go take a look at this new aspect. You could potentially even make just like an AFK the Necromancer relatively easily. And what I mean by this is you basically have access to everything that you need to be an AFK Necromancer. First off, you get corpse explosions going off constantly, right? Which, of course, is going to help you in terms of damage output. And then you get your corpse tendrils, which is going to pull them all together, which is obviously going to focus them in one place so that the corpse explosions can hit them all. And they added in this one. This one was from, I think, the same season that the Malignant Power was from with the Ring of the Sacrilegious. And it was basically an automated curse area. And so this one works quite well right alongside the Ring of the Sacrilegious. So if you use the Ring of the Sacrilegious and the aspect of the Cursed Aura together, you get automated curses, and you get automated corpse explosions, automated corpse tendrils, and if you're using minions, automated minions. And it's going to keep your minions active. The only thing it's not going to do is use your golem for you, which, you know, like whatever. The really cool thing about this ring, though, that I personally enjoy, aside from the laziness aspect of just simply having the abilities used for you, is that there's a lot of things that can potentially give you increased damage bonuses for activating corpses. Me personally, I don't like the fact that I have to constantly activate corpse skills to get most of my damage bonuses on this particular character. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So down here we have Fueled by Death, which gives you 3% times per point. So that's 369. So you get 9% increased damage there. On the Paragon board, you can also grab the passive legendary node, which gives you consuming 5 corpses, grants you a 40% multiplier for 6 seconds, and so forth and so on. And when you start grabbing these things, you're going to get damage bonuses. Well, the Ring of the Sacrilegious, since it's using corpse skills, and it is consuming corpses, so it is consuming 2 corpses every second between Ray Skeleton and Corpse Explosion if you're using both of them. That means that you are going to get 2 of those damage bumps every single time that it uses a corpse. So for instance, with this one, which is as long as you've consumed a corpse within 6 seconds, you're getting the damage bonus, right? So you're going to get that damage bonus constantly with Fueled by Death if you're using Ring of Sacrilegious. Also, with this one, and since it is 5 corpses within 6 seconds, or 5 corpses for 6 seconds can grant you the bonus, you're going to be able to generate that relatively easily too, since you're doing 2 corpses per second, which means after 3 seconds you'll have this bonus, and it will remain active essentially permanently because of the Ring of the Sacrilegious's ability to just simply consume corpses on a regular basis. Another interesting thing with this particular ability is that if you are utilizing the Fueled by Death, or the Hued Flesh passive, along with this, the Hued Flesh passive will usually give you enough corpses that you can maintain the bonus. And let's see if I can create a couple of corpses here real quick. And of course I can't make any corpses. Why would I be able to make corpses? That's silly. I just get no corpses. Let's put Mortarcrux on. Mortarcrux has a +3 to Hued Flesh. Makes it a lot easier to get those corpses popping out. Alright, here we go. So now we've got our corpses spawning. And what's going to happen is because Corpse Explosion is hitting so many targets at one time, you're going to have more of a chance for more corpses to spawn. So it feeds into itself, especially if you have a really high Hued Flesh, so that you're getting more corpses and more corpses every single time it procs. And obviously if you're using something like Mortarcrux, you could potentially have basically an infinite amount of corpses, especially if you have a greater affix on the Hued Flesh. And obviously you masterwork this item, you could potentially utilize this Ring of the Sacrilegious to just have like an infinite number of corpse explosions going at any given time. And as you can see here, if I pull, let's pull some points real quick for my Fueled by Death, you notice now I'm getting my Fueled by Death dealing bonus. So it's not just a matter of being lazy, which, you know, it is kind of nice to have it, but it also maintains for you a permanent 100% uptime, essentially, on all of your damage bonuses. It's like he's shedding. All your damage bonuses, which are going to help you, you know, obviously keep that damage running. And it's not exactly a terrible ring. The only downside to really using this is that you might be giving up on other things that could be potentially more beneficial in that spot, like an aspect slot or something that could give you more damage. But overall, I do think that this is a very interesting one, also in terms of the amount of resources it gives you back as well. So another interesting thing here is that if you are putting 3 points into Grim Harvest, as an example, you're going to have they generate 6 essence, right? And then it's also giving you an additional 3 if you have a nice one. So let's put a 3 on. And that means that you're going to be building a large amount of essence per corpse explosion, or per corpse that's being consumed on a regular basis. And if you are utilizing the skeletons, let's go ahead and pull the skeletons in real quick just for the moment. And let's say, for instance, you have the skeletons active, well, then you're going to be generating a large amount of essence through this, which can potentially fix most of your issues in terms of, like having problems generating. I'm actually burning every single bit of my essence when I use Bone Spirit. That's 188 essence or 202 essence, and as you can clearly see here, despite the fact that I'm burning every bit of my essence with this particular item, I am actually getting a rather large amount back just for simply having it active and having it constantly using those abilities, summoning skeletons for me, using corpse explosions for me, and the works. It's actually quite useful. Personally, I have a hard time, like, not using it, or let me just say, working it into my builds. I have a hard time working it into my builds. And the reason why I have a hard time working it into my builds is really just because there's so many other good things to put in that slot, and I kind of just, like, find myself in a position where I'm like, do I really want to have, like, do I really want to be lazy? Do I really want to be lazy? And honestly, the answer to the question a lot of times, unfortunately, with this particular character is yes, I do. Because I'm tired of having to stop what I'm doing and fire off my corpse explosions. I'm tired of having to stop what I'm doing and fire off my corpse tendrils. I'm tired of having to stop what I'm doing and fire off my, my skeletons. I feel like there's too much micromanaging involved. There was never so much micromanaging in Diablo 2 in that, like, once you had your army active, I mean, yeah, you cast your skeletons a couple times and, like, you threw your curse up every now and then, but, like, I feel like they really kind of micromanaged it into oblivion to the point where it feels like you're forced to do a lot of that stuff. So having something like the Ring of the Sacrilegious kind of frees you up a little bit and allows you to just play your character, which is very, very nice. I definitely enjoy, from at least in that perspective, just the ability to just play my character and just have fun playing the character instead of having to, you know, spend a whole bunch of time like messing around with everything, trying to figure out exactly what the hell I'm gonna do with like, how many corpse explosions or how many ray skeletons I need. I gotta like make sure I've got my bonuses active. Did I cast 5 corpse explosions? Do I have 5 corpses on the battlefield? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, it just seems generally better all around from a micromanagement perspective, just to simply have this ring, let it do its thing, and then not worry about it, which I love. I probably will end up using this on another Necromancer, but I don't think I can use it on this particular one right now, which kind of sucks. But, I mean, that's just the way it works sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have the room for it with the aspects, especially if you're using, like, a two-hander like the Grandfather. It really cuts down on your total number of aspects and makes it more difficult. You can get this from Varshan, by the way, and if you're ever having trouble finding any of these, you can always hop over to the Diablo 4 .life, and on the Diablo 4 .life there is a target farming uniques. You can go to Necromancer, for instance, and you can just simply put Ring of the Sacrilegious in here and see it says Echo of Varshan. If you do the tormented version of Varshan, he'll drop you like 3 or 4 of these stupid rings, and I guess you'll just pick the best of the lot. Obviously, if you get some greater affix rolls on here, it would make it even better. And the Grim Harvest, honestly, is really fun to get greater affix on if you're trying to build resource from your corpses. And because obviously, if you can get like, I don't know, like say 6 to that, and then you have 3 in it natively, that's like level 9, and that's going to give you like a maximum of what, 6, 6, which is 12, and then another 6 is like 18 essence every single time you consume a corpse, which is going to be a pretty beastly amount of essence, to be perfectly honest. I'm not exactly sure what you would use the essence on. I mean, you could use it on Bone Spear, you could use it on Bone Spirits. It could be very fun to work it into various builds to just have like infinite essence, which isn't terrible. There's also another aspect that they added in. It's called the... Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it the Apothec aspect, or is that the other one? There's definitely an aspect that they added in that also gives you the damage bump for using the skeletal priests, and I can pull that one up for you as well. So let's put skeletal, and I think it's the Apophet. Yeah, skeletal priests empower your skeletal warriors' attacks. No, not this one. Not this one. The Bloodgetters aspect. There it is. I was thinking of the wrong one. So your skeletal priests will now also empower you at 70% of the effectiveness. And if you pull up the tree, and you go to the skeletal priest down here, it says every 8 seconds skeletal priest will heal you. Actually, that's not the right thing. We need this one. Yes. So, skeletal priests will empower you and your minions, or your minions, for 8 seconds, increasing their damage dealt by 30% times and healing them for 40% of their maximum life. So basically, you're going to get the 30% times multiplier for yourself as well, as long as you're maintaining your skeletal priest at all times. So this gives you another reason why having the Ring of the Sacrilegious might not necessarily be a bad idea, because as long as because it's going to keep casting your Ray Skeleton, you're going to get that 30 times multiplier for the Ray Skeleton. It's going to keep your corpse multiplier active at all times. It's going to keep your corpse legendary node active at all times. It's going to generate essence for you. I mean, honestly, they made the Ring of Sacrilegious so ridiculously good that the only real reason why you might not want to use it is if you really can't afford to lose that aspect slot. It's really the main thing. The only thing that I do know that I think I might have left out about Ring of the Sacrilegious is if you don't have it on your bar, it doesn't work. So, and that's another thing that makes this maybe might not be the best thing for you. Is basically like, for instance, if you don't have this stuff on your bar, so if you're just running, say, like none of these abilities, and you're standing with the Ring of Sacrilegious next to a bunch of corpses, it's not going to do anything. So you have to actually have the ability on your bar to get access to this stuff. As you can see, despite the fact that there is a corpse right here, it is doing nothing. So to get this to do something, I'm going to have to put something on my bar, and then it will actually work. And that's how this unfortunately is. So you're not going to get the effect of everything unless you actually have everything on your bar. And I mean, it's interesting though if you do have everything on your bar. There are some builds that can potentially do it, but not entirely sure which ones right off the top of my head. It's such a fun little ring, though. It definitely is. And I forgot to read the flavor text. The mere proximity of a practitioner of such dark arts can rouse the dead and disturb those souls who have earned their rest. Let me know what you guys think of the Ring of the Sacrilegious. Do you like the changes that they made? The buff to Corpse Tendrils, which was a pretty nice little 2-second buff there from 8 to 6, and the other changes that they made to it. I definitely feel like it's a very strong ring at this point, and it definitely could work itself into a variety of builds, but it might not be able to squeeze in past some builds that are a little bit more restrictive on the number of aspects that you need. Anyways, always, I'd appreciate you guys and gals joining me for my videos. And be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button if you enjoy my content. And as always, keep watching.